right, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Robin, for inviting me back to the High Tech Retailing Summit. We are here today to discuss the Asian retailing market, and I am honored to have this opportunity. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Deborah Weinswig, and I'm the CEO and founder of Coresight Research. We have the distinct honor today of also rolling out our new website, Coresight.com. We're moving to registered content, so please, everyone, if you want to go and see our new website, log on. And we're also moving to subscription research as of February 1st. So the structure for today. We're very honored to have with us Chen, who's the CTO of JD.com, and also Cecilia, who's the Vice General Manager of Tencent from Smart Retail. So I'll kick it off with about 15 minutes, and then we'll move to 2 fireside chats. So we're going to start and discuss artificial intelligence, which really underlies everything that we're seeing right now in Asia. We've developed this core framework, and the core framework has 4 different aspects. We look at communication, optimization, rationalization, and experiential retail, which we then look at as formulating what we call spectacular retail. So, from a communication perspective, what we're seeing right now is that bots actually can sense emotion and respond better than humans. What we see also is that voice print can actually connect your profile between the online and also the offline world. For example, right now, if you shop at Hema, you can shop using the Tmall Genie, and that will connect you from your home into the physical store. Then if you think about optimization, there's many different areas of optimization. I actually work for an Israeli tech company, and we focused on this quite in depth. So typically when you think of optimization, you think of price, right? We think of dynamic pricing. It's so important to the consumer right now. So this is where a lot of folks are focused. We also think about space optimization, especially as we're moving to smaller boxes. Promotion optimization. How can we deliver the best price to the consumer, especially upon demand? But what's really important in China is marketing optimization, because marketing really drives everything, and it's incredibly expensive. The R stands for rationalized inventory. This can be the biggest cost to a retailer, markdowns. So how do we get the right item to the right store at the right time? But now, how do we also get it to your home? So in China, there's 24-hour delivery, and JD, which we'll hear from soon, they get 90% of packages delivered either same day or next day. That's a dream. So AI can improve distribution, and also they can look at what you've ordered in the past to predict what you'll want in the future. And also this idea of redeploying in real time. Then, this to me, so far at CES, and we're just a few days in, experiential retail is what I've heard as the most important focus for almost every retailer in 2019. Knowing who the customer is. And we heard this idea of the creep factor, so target messaging the customer as they walk in the store. But the idea is now that through artificial intelligence, we can avoid that. We can target the customer with messages at the appropriate level. And this idea of customizing online and offline, and it's not omni-channel, it's just retail. So we have 8 things that we can learn from China. Let's get started. So number 1, we have a smartphone connected customer, and what we see is that the average customer visits Taobao.com, which is Alibaba's discovery platform, 7 times a day. Shopping is a sport in China. It's really driven by free Wi-Fi and a connected consumer who shares everything. For example, at JD, 80% of orders are placed through mobile. So think about this. When I go out to dinner with friends, we all sit around and we look at what's in our carts and we talk about what we're going to buy, and there's a level of excitement. And also, when you go into a physical box, the sales associate is literally negotiating your discount on WeChat. So it's this whole idea, really, like I said, of online and offline, and it's all done through your phone. So it's this idea of a walletless society. For any of you who've come in through the North Hall, this is here, and this is happening at CES, a WeChat mini program. So I can do everything right here, right now, on WeChat at CES. And everyone here who's on this WeChat mini program is connected. For those of you who've not used WeChat, it's like every aspect of your daily life in one app. It's your payments. It's your transportation. It's your messaging. It's your Instagram through moments. When I go out to eat with my friends, we can split the bill 5 ways like this. And it's everything else in this bubble. So it's my healthcare, it's my photos, it's my whole life. And what we see is that it's growing exponentially. So there's over 1 billion folks who are using WeChat right now, and that's growing day by day. In addition, I was at Starbucks recently and I tried to play with cash, and they didn't know what to do with me. So I ended up using my WeChat Pay. But what we're seeing is a significant amount of experiences, and even what we'll see here is the panhandler, even he has his own QR code. So taxis, grocery stores, farmers markets, everything you use a QR code. And recently I was with a friend of mine who happens to be sitting in this audience, and I won't call her out, but we were sitting at a restaurant and we were wondering why wasn't anyone coming to take our order? And what we figured out soon enough is that everything had to be done through actually Alipay. And so the whole entire experience, we didn't really have to interact with the individual. It was all done through the app. And so what we're seeing now is this entire digitized society, and what it leads to is amazing customer experiences, and they're all seamless. So this is also something that I think we can take from China back to the US, and we're hearing this more and more from retailers, is not just looking at the large cities. I think the third bullet here is very important, because what we're seeing is that housing is so expensive in the large cities that consumers in what we call in China third and fourth tier cities have more disposable income. So they're spending more on consumer goods, and we're also hearing this in the US. And so we're also seeing specific companies like Pinduoduo here that are taking China by storm with a recent IPO and market share gains. We go through here with these 4 bubbles to explain to you how the buying app works. So first, you search and you look at what you want to purchase. Secondly, it's this idea of a group buy, because there's basically a limited time and a limited quantity and a limited offering. You then invite your friends. This is the whole idea of it's fun, it's exciting, it's a sport. And then you can pay you can pay either through WeChat Pay or Alipay, and you check out. The average order size is $6, and only 10% of the customers are in first-tier cities. So we're already seeing this is over 5% of the market in just 3 years. So everyone, I'm sure, in this room has heard of Singles' Day. We're also seeing the 618 shopping festival grow exponentially, and that's an 18-day festival, so that we don't see the same social impact, if you will, as in Double 11, which is $45 billion of sales done in 24 hours. I have sat in many board meetings here in the US, and I've begged, pleaded, and hoped that we would see more shopping festivals in the United States. All that we've seen so far is Amazon. So in a 24 basically month period, they've now got $4.2 billion in sales accruing to them through their Prime Day shopping festival, and that was even with a bit of a technical glitch. So I plead with US retailers, for those of you who are in this room, and for those of you from a technology perspective that power them, this is this whole idea of driving retail as a sport. So Elama, which translates in the US to, "Are you hungry?" And of course, we always are. So this company was acquired by Alibaba in April, and in a very short period of time, they were approved for drone delivery, and also in October, they rolled out basically high-end delivery, which was Kubei. We're seeing 666,000 monthly active riders, and this idea that you can get anything, anywhere, anytime, and we're leading to this seamless society of what we want. And when you talk about prescriptions and anything from a medical perspective, but it's really changing this idea of delivery of speed and also looking at other competitions to Meituan in a very short period of time. So here in the upper left-hand bubble with the gentleman with the white gloves, this is Top Life. So this is how JD is addressing the luxury consumer. Imagine somebody pulls up an electric vehicle with a package just for you. And there's a one-to-one relationship. And just in case you don't like the item, they'll also show up in the exact same way with white glove service to take the item back. No questions asked. And if it happens to be around the holidays and it's a gift for you, they might just show up in a Santa Claus outfit. So that, to me, is fantastic delivery. So if we look at the sorting robots and this automated warehouse, we're also seeing some real changes in terms of how JD is addressing warehousing and also improving warehousing and the ability to deliver packages. In addition, cold chain logistics, which has been incredibly important in terms of thinking about safety to the consumer, has really taken off. One of the great examples is Australian beef, and looking at everything from beginning to end and knowing that what you get is actually what you think you're getting, and the ability to look at the authentication is extremely important. So this is one of my favorite slides. So imagine you're a new brand to China, and you don't really know what the consumer there wants. How do you approach it? Well, you work with Alibaba. So they'll use their data and their artificial intelligence to help you understand the market and the consumer. One great example of this is spicy Snickers. Not only do they help you develop the product, but they help you develop the packaging. So these spicy Snickers come in a bucket. I've actually carried many of these back to the United States and shared them with retailers and brands to help them understand what's possible. So not only does this have a 90% success rate, but also it drives innovation from the east to the west. And there's many more examples. The lower right-hand corner, which is the Listerine, is also from the Tmall Innovation Center. And new store formats. So you can call it Retail 2.0, you can call it boundaryless retail, new retail, smart retail, whatever you want to call it. It's this idea of making retail extra special. And that, to me, is what it's all about, and that's what we can learn. So this is Hema. There's about 100 of them right now. For any of you who've had the opportunity to go into one of these stores, you can pick your food, you can have it cooked in front of you, you can enjoy it the same day, and there's also this opportunity to have this basically within 30 minutes to order and to have it delivered to your home. What I also think is unbelievable is that the quality of the fresh food is so high that there's a 20x conversion from offline to online. And so the customer's experience is so unbelievable that they continue to come back, but it's in an online experience. So this goes back to this idea of Retail 2.0. We're also seeing that JD, through different formats, such as 7 Fresh, is also looking at this. And this, to me, is new retail and smart retail all rolled into one. But it looks at many different areas of retail, from payment to data collection, and whether that's through facial recognition technology or through your phone. And it's looking at ways that this all combines into making a new and seamless experience. So my favorite is probably the example on the left, but it's Wahaha, which is this example of an unstaffed, basically, vending machine that you almost step into to get your product. Secondly, we're also seeing an unstaffed store from JD, which uses facial recognition technology and also image recognition. And then Bingo Box, which also uses is an unstaffed store and also uses RFID. So this is every different aspect of technology that we can look at and take back to the US. And then lastly, I'll wrap it up with marketing trends. So as I mentioned at the beginning, marketing can be extremely expensive. And it's one of the most important aspects to the consumer. So the Chinese consumer is constantly bombarded with different marketing, if you will, KOLs, which are influencers. They need an average of 8 touch points versus the Western consumer who needs 4 before they buy a product. What we're seeing right now is Douyin, which is TikTok, is one of the most influential social media trends. In December, this app was downloaded more globally than any other social media apps in the world. These are 20-second videos, and what we're seeing is more and more brands are coming to us in terms of how they can partner with TikTok. And then lastly, Little Red. This is Little Red Book. So this started off as basically a social platform. And consumers shared shopping tips, and ultimately it became a social commerce platform. And so this goes back to the idea of how do you start off from marketing and turn it into shopping. There's currently 120 million users. And what we see is that not only do customers use Alibaba, but they also use JD and also Little Red in terms of going into China. And lastly, what we're seeing is a real change in terms of not only Top Life, but also Tmall's Luxury Pavilion. These are all different ways that the luxury customer is approaching China. And 38% of sales right now are on luxury. So what's the key takeaway here? You have this opportunity to learn about spectacular retail in China. It's the result of many different things: great logistics, shopping formats, marketing, and fun. But most importantly, not only can you read about this from all the work that we've done, but just get on a plane, step into some of the formats, and you can also experience it for yourself.